Cynics on Disney podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
This is the Cynics on Disney podcast, presented by nightclub33.com.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Cynics on Disney podcast. And I know I'm not saying it like I normally do, because this week I want to make sure that you guys all know this is a very special episode. Welcome back to the program, my lovely wife, Amanda, aka the anti-cynic. Excuse me, Amanda.
Yes.
Welcome back. Please
Thank
give
you.
yourself a round of applause. There's a button
Yay.
there. There's a button there now. You
Oh,
can
I have a
press.
button. Look at that.
Yeah.
I pressed it.
Yeah. Now the other one. There's another one over there too.
I see cheering.
This is- Yeah, that's the one. There you go. Now you have control of the kids. You have custody. Okay? Your turn.
Am I supposed to hear them? Because I don't.
Probably, but it's fine. We'll figure that part out here. Today we are not going to do a review. And today we are going to just have kind of a long form. Because, yep, that's me, guys. I'm just long-winded and won't shut the fuck up sometimes. I get it. Did you really need to do the vigorous?
I did.
nod?
I need everyone to understand what I've been living with for the past week or so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Today I'm gonna have a catharsis to an extent. And it's my own declaration. I don't declare bankruptcy, thankfully. That's good. So, but I do declare myself more independent, I feel like.
But not from me.
No. I'm entirely dependent upon her. No. Part of the reason why I have been so fucking stressed here for the past week is because, you know what? I have not had my wife around to help me do the stuff that I normally do or need help doing, and I am lost. I'm a lost fucking husband, and I love you, and I miss you.
I do want to give you credit, though. You have done a very good job of taking care of me while I recover.
I appreciate that. I do, but also I've put you through a lot too this week, if I'm being honest. And
You're not the only one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing, guys. We've been kind of like stressed out a lot recently. I said it last week while my lovely wife was on the mend. That we've been through hell. We've been through the ringer. I've rattled off the various things that have gone on, and I'm not trying to make this into a complaining thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to have that frame of reference. Okay. I've had enough. I've just had enough of bullshit.
Yeah.
And the bullshit that I've had, like the biggest bugaboo about here recently, has been big time major corporations that seem to just be the best at something, but also be the worst.
Yeah. I get it.
Amazon.com is the perfect example of this. I'm not going to go too deep, but we paid for a membership. We did not receive said benefits to that membership, and now we've canceled it.
After
Why?
spending
Because-
days on
Yeah.
the phone with them.
Yeah. Why? Because I'm just not going to let some stuff go. I was very much so disrespected by one of their customer service reps, and not okay with that.
Oh. We both were, actually.
Yeah, no, we're not just playing the whole, oh no,
No.
This isn't
We
a
were
Karen
both.
situation. This was part of the reason why I feel even comfortable talking about this at all is because I have a witness, and
Yeah.
she'll tell you, I was not calm, I was not happy about any of it, but I wasn't wrong about any of it either.
No, you weren't.
so that's kind of my problem, right? Is that I'm not wrong, but I'm not right either. Okay. And what I mean by that is we're I've I've burned myself out.
Yeah.
I just have. We've been dealing with both ends of the candle. Um, and one of the joys, I think, of Disney for most people is that you guys come down here and it's your happy place.
It's your
It is
vacation.
it is your vacation. And I am so happy that it exists for you in that way now. Um, but part of, one of the stresses of doing a show like this and stuff is that, well, you feel compelled to do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
I let's all ask ourselves the following question. When is the last time anyone who wasn't high, drunk, inebriated in some form or fashion and was not doing it for a joke said to any of you, let's go on Swiss Family
Yeah.
Robinson Treehouse?
Yeah.
Babe, when I asked you to go on that, was I drunk?
You weren't drunk,
No,
I don't think. No.
no, no. Was I high?
Quite possibly. I
Listen,
don't
those
think.
melatonin gummies that are in the. Never mind. We won't get in. Okay. Um, I. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I was a little high, but the point is that nobody does that kind of stuff, right? Nobody
Right.
subjects themselves to certain things on their vacation that they knowingly will hate.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the
No
last
one does.
time I had done that was 1997.
Yeah, because you wanted to see what it was. You
It was
found
my
out that
first
it's
trip.
literally,
Yeah.
yep, it's the line to nowhere.
Right.
They made fun of it in Family Guy and The Simpsons
Yep.
and South Park. Like every last one of them have made
Yep.
fun of that shit.
Yep.
And we did it. Why? We're Disney vets. We know better.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking does that.
Yep.
There's not even the ironically loving like an antiquated attraction because it's so bad that it's Disney good
Yeah.
type vibe. Like there are people who love shit that everybody else hates.
Yeah.
There's so many people upset about that Liberty Boat. When's the last time anybody got on the thing?
It's been a while for me.
I don't know if we're going to get to do it or not, but that's part of this.
Yeah.
We're burned down on the parks. And I wanted to say we, and I wanted to make sure Amanda was on to prove the point. Can you
Yeah.
confirm that we are, in fact, burned out on the parks?
Yes, I can.
That felt kind of like a hostage tape. Thanks. I appreciate
No,
that.
I mean, okay, let me explain from my view on this.
Sure.
All right. Anyone who knows me, anyone who has listened to this show for any length of time knows that I have a deep love for Disney. I'm a former cast member. You clearly see the wall behind me of all my Stitch stuff. Not all of it, but some of it. You see my name tag. My name tag is up there. I have a deep love for it. This has been family vacations pretty much every year since 1997.
Yep.
We did our honeymoon at Disney. Like, it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was starting to get to a point for me where it was becoming a bit of a chore to go and do stuff for the podcast. Like I knew we had to do it and I love going, but it was a bit of a chore. It's a hike for us to get down there. I mean, it's like on a good day, 30 minutes. On a good day.
Hold on. Who's accusing who of being high? Come on. 30
On a
minutes
good
never
day.
happened. We could get to Universal.
No,
Maybe
I've
in
made
30
it.
minutes.
I've made it from Disney like with like at night with no traffic on I-4. 30 minutes.
I've never a condition that I've yet to see down here. By the way,
I've done it a couple of times, not often. On average, it takes us 40 minutes to an hour to get there. Half the time, we're doing this in the sweltering heat because it's Florida.
Yep. Absolutely.
Trying to avoid the rain showers because it's Florida. I think the only park, though, that I'm not burned out on is Animal Kingdom, and that's just because we just didn't go that often to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. And
plus, I like the animals.
That I also understand. Now, part of this too is that because we've been doing this show for 3.5 years, and once a year at least, I know last year we had an existential episode. It led to, by the way, the changes that I think are a little bit more positive for the show, and also it slapped me in the face and said, "Let's not do certain shit."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at with this too. I don't want to do shit anymore that just bums me out.
Oh, I get it.
Years ago on the show, I said I felt like I had to have like a heart-to-heart or a confession. And my confession was that I'm not a Disney fan. I'm a Disney Parks fan. I'm a Disney World fan. I'm not beholden to any characters. I don't understand really. I mean, I love some of them, don't get me wrong, but like also it just doesn't translate for me the way that whom we might accuse of being a pixie duster it does. I mean, I don't have stuff like bags and artwork that I don't think it's really official. It feels more like something that you bought on Etsy. I don't know. Oh shit! No, whoops.
I think the only like official things that I have up here are my Loungefly, my name tag, and my Trader Sam's print.
Well, okay. To be fair, I wasn't starting that by just like accidentally describing my wife's wall, but the point that I was trying to make is that no matter how much you guys love it, you guys get a break, right?
Yeah.
You guys get a break, and for 3.5 years, you've done like just a consistent amount of Disney.
Yeah.
So we're getting it like a slow drip, and you guys are getting it like a heroin shot.
All in one, yeah.
And that's probably the most apt way that I've ever described it, like a drug.
Yeah.
Because you guys are all getting high off of all this stuff. And you know what? We're satisfying our little, our drug craving, but we're not getting high off of it.
Yeah.
We're just doing enough so that we feel right. I believe they call that getting right in the drug trade. I'm not actually a member of said trade, so I don't know the lingo. And while everybody else watched Narcos, I just couldn't get into it. Like I watched Breaking Bad.
Attempted.
I watched Breaking Bad, but like I was more like interested in the like I guess not criminal side of it. Like like I was more interested in like the dynamics of it.
Yeah.
The family dynamics of it. And I always felt bad for Walter Jr. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, I don't want to keep throwing money at this problem either.
Oh.
Because that's what I kind of feel like we did last year. We threw money at this. I've been having this problem for a long time. And let's be real. Part of the shtick of me is that I have to be cynical about this, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the premise of our show.
Sure. But imagine that you're also like when you're not performing, trying to not be an ass.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the last time that I felt any sort of like just joy when it came to Disney was when my cousin Ashley brought her family down, and we got to spend time with uh her little boy Ryan. And the look on his face when he saw the characters reminded me, as it reminds all of you guys all the time, of what that magic is supposed to be.
Honestly, that was probably one of my favorite times because doing
Yeah.
things we weren't doing things for content. It was
No.
we were spending time with family. We were doing what you guys do on vacation. We were spending time with the people that we care about. We were getting to experience, like, we got to be there for Ryan's very first Disney ride. And like, we got to experience those moments and kind of see it through, his eyes and everything. And that was really cool.
Now, make no mistake, we also want a family, and we're working on
Right.
it. And I can't wait to get those moments too for our own child.
I think that will definitely change our
Um,
perspective on
of
things.
course it will. Absolutely will. But we only have the perspective that we have, right?
Right. Right.
Every time that I bring up the fact that I'm a local, yeah, it gets annoying, I'm sure, to a couple people here and there, Pat among them, because he likes to chide me for it, right? Um, but I bring it up because there is a different perspective down
Yeah.
here. And like, we are not an or we are not a small enough contingent of the fan base, especially considering that so many people move here specifically to be here as much as possible.
Right.
But the business that I work for, like, is successful because of that.
Yeah.
To it,
Yeah.
it's a powerful draw, and I understand it because I was drawn here so much,
Yeah.
and for a long, long time, I really, truly did love the parks. Right?
Yeah.
I, I didn't really start to get cynical about it until, ironically, you and I first started coming.
Gee, thanks.
No, it wasn't because of you.
Makes me feel great.
No, it's not because of you. Get your ass back to work so that you can get them back in line.
Ah,
Has nothing to do with that. It's all to do with, obviously, the changes at the leadership
yeah.
positions, and obviously Bob Chapek at the time was president of Disney World, if not Disney Parks, and later went on to be CEO. And we all know how much we love that tenure,
That was a
right?
wonderful time in Disney history.
Great time. And that's when we started to see the erosion of the things that I still value about Disney. And Amanda, we don't want to get too deep,
No.
right?
No.
But we grew up differently.
We did.
You grew up in a little bit lower income level. I grew up in a little bit higher income level than you
Mhm.
did. But part of I'm going to share this, okay? We met online.
We
We
did.
met on OkCupid, and we bonded over our shared Disney World experiences.
Yeah.
In fact, like, we really got to know each other because I had an old recording of Disney Radio, the old AM radio station that was broadcast out of Lakeside, Florida.
Yeah.
I had a recording of it on my phone, and we went back to my car and we listened to it.
On
Like,
our
that
first
was a
date. Yeah.
that was a truly bonding experience
Yeah. You knew
for
what you
us.
were doing.
Hell yeah. Let, let it never be said that I was stupid. Um,
You definitely knew how to win me over.
yep. Well, yeah, absolutely. But the reason why I wanted to win you over in the first place is because I had that freaking recording on my phone for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, I loved it at some point. And now I don't. I just don't. It sucks going to the parks for me. Making a reservation is
It's so
it sounds
difficult.
like such a minor inconvenience, but it is such a class defining system
Hmm.
for you as a visitor.
Yep.
You feel different when you get denied because you didn't make the reservation.
Yep.
Where everybody else gets to just walk into the park unimpeded, just go.
Hmm.
You feel like a different type of guest.
Hmm.
And while I totally understand the reasons why a company would want to monetize and maximize those monetizations, every aspect that it could. And to a degree, they have an obligation to. The reason why we were able to bond the way that we were is because when we walked into Magic Kingdom, all the income stuff,
Didn't matter.
it didn't matter nearly as much.
Nope.
It mattered to a degree because you know what? I bragged about staying at the yacht club and Old Key West and all these other places and stuff like that. And I'm certain that that made you feel a certain way about me.
I mean, yeah, but also I think had we met before I did my college program, I would have definitely felt very different.
Probably. But I was also a very different person during
Because
that time. So,
but because of my now before I did the college program, before I was a cast member, yeah, like we stayed our very first trip, which we thought was going to be the only, like, we really thought that that trip in 97 was a once in a lifetime thing. My dad in 96, no, 94, excuse me. In 94, my dad had a massive heart attack, forced him to retire, and he was the breadwinner of our family. My mom was only working part time up until that point. And so, like, overnight, like, our lives changed because my dad was forced to retire. My mom had to step up and, go from being a part-time employee to, you know, going to full-time. And my dad had promised me, I was 6 years old, and my dad had promised me, you know, that someday he would get me to Disney World. And I remember we had this gigantic jug, um, that literally and I mean this, literally every penny we could, like, spare change, went into this jug. And that's how we paid for our first trip. But we stayed at Fort Wilderness. We stayed in the cabins, um, that first trip. But then after that, like, we were a value and moderate. I mean, we did some moderates, but I've stayed at all the All Stars, because there were times that we went down, and that was that's what we could afford. Um, I think I've stayed at all the moderates with my family. But it wasn't until I was a cast member that we could do the deluxes because of my discount.
but your in park experience, the
Was
memories that
totally,
you
yeah,
made,
had nothing to do with the level of income that my parents had.
right? And so let's do this instead. We want to talk about how Disney's this family destination
Mhm.
and everything. Sometimes there's going to be some tough life lessons out there that kids need to learn, and some of them could be taught at Disney.
This is
One
not
of
one
those
of them.
lessons, no, I have a different lesson. One of those lessons could be that you can't just buy your way out of everything.
Right. Yeah.
With the announcement of the Lightning Lane Premier Pass, that kind of broke me a lot
Yeah,
more.
that really upset me as well.
Um, and we had been teeter tottering on it, and really, it wasn't. that we meant it to be this way, but we didn't immediately renew, and then Amanda had reminded me a couple times, and I'm like, yeah, we'll get around to it, and then we just never did, and then two hurricanes hit, and then you had surgery, and we
We got
have tickets
holidays
next
coming up.
weekend,
Yeah,
and
we
blah
got
blah. Yeah.
football.
So just by default, we weren't going to renew, right?
Yeah,
And we figured like if we knew some folks that were coming down, um, and they really wanted to spend some in time or in park time with us, worst case scenario, we'll just buy the
Florida
Florida
resident.
resident discount 4-day ticket thing. Because then we don't have to worry about the damn blackout dates and all the other nonsense.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just cheaper. It's just more efficient, and then we don't feel obligated to go either. And that's
right.
kind of the thing, is that it became sort of an obligation. You were right about that. It's not that even we were going for just content. It's that we were paying for this thing over
Right.
the course of a year. And like I felt like we needed to use it if we were going to buy it because it was so expensive.
Yep. Yep.
So it just burned us out on all the stuff that you guys like, right?
Hmm.
And all the stuff that I like is disappearing.
Yeah.
It keeps going away with every announcement from D23 and every single update that throws a character on something and every new announcement of a DVC property instead of a new moderate or value resort or
Yeah.
every new price increase and every new everything that
Right.
they announce. I've not been excited by anything that they've
Yeah.
announced. You're supposed to spend $60 billion down here. Not one red cent of it is being spent on something that I think I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
I just imagine putting yourself in the position of paying for it and then doing a show about it. And you can
Yeah.
understand why it might get to you a little.
Yeah.
So here's kind of where I'm at. I'm burned out on just wasting my time and my money
Yeah.
on things that are not bringing me joy and not bringing me um what I paid for.
I agree.
So for the next little while here, we're still going to do a show. Just
Yeah.
so where this isn't like the end. I know that
No.
this kind of felt like the end for a minute. So we should probably preface this by this saying that's
You
not
will
the
still
end.
see our faces every week.
Yeah, so long as Steve keeps being willing to edit. Thank you, bud. Um Now, instead what we want to try to do is take a deep breath and spend time at the parks or at the resorts like you guys do.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is we want to go, we have some family coming down a couple weeks. We'll spend some time with them over at their resort. We'll go out to dinner. We'll do a couple different things here and there. We got Pat coming down in December. He's bringing his mom down for the first time in God knows
Ooh,
how long. And he's super excited. He gets to stay at Kadani Village with her, and he gets to share something that you and I both agree is just an amazing experience
that resort
with
is
somebody.
wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to share that with her for the first time,
Yeah.
and somehow tangentially, like I'll just be there on the same trip, and I will somehow have been a part of something like that.
Yep.
And that's something that does actually bring me a little bit of a smile to my face.
Hmm.
So I'm going to enjoy those moments. But I'm not going to fucking go on a terrible attraction for the hell of it right now.
Right.
I'm not going to drag myself down there and say, I've not eaten here in 15 years.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. That's what happened with Sci-Fi Dine-In.
Yep.
And while it's, it was, I actually think it was one of our better and more accurate shows,
Yeah.
because boy, did we just point it out that it was just blah.
Yeah.
You have all this great stuff around you, but the food just tastes terrible.
Yeah.
And all the great stuff around you has already been bought and paid for 1,000 times over when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
So why are we paying $36 for a cheeseburger? And not a good one.
No.
Like, I don't mind spending money on things. Like, I love going to great resorts.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I was blown away by Sapphire Falls, not because it's like a overwhelmingly beautiful or gorgeous resort, but the service was just so wonderful.
Service was
And
amazing.
we just had a different experience
Yeah.
there. It was like we've not been there enough that we burned ourselves out, and things were new and interesting. They haven't been at Disney.
Yeah.
Everybody else who is, does these vacations all the time or what have you, you guys always will have the option to just not come.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't mean that like, oh no, if you don't like this, that no. I'm saying if you're feeling burned out, when your next vacation is, right? When all right, it's been a little bit. It's time to go ride the people mover.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a break like that where we've like,
No.
"Man, I haven't been in so long. It'd be fun to do this."
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting on with the parks. In the meantime, I want to explore as best we can more of the resorts, more of the non-theme park attractions, whatever those might be. And that might include putt putt. It might include just walking around. I'm not going to review a room over at a resort if we haven't stayed there,
Yeah.
right? But I can review the rest of the resort and say, would I pay this exorbitant price
Yeah.
to stay here
Yeah.
because of all the other stuff around?
Yeah.
Because now that stuff is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost I think everybody else comes down here 100% for the theme parks, and it was never like that in the 90s to me anyway, because you got the Burn Bomb book or you
Yep.
got the VHS tape, and yeah, you got your full section of each of those on Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. And why do I look like I'm spanking something right now? I was meaning to like flip the pages of a book, but somehow now it looks like I'm wafting a fart. I don't know what's going on with me. Where I was going with all that is that there was more shit to do here. There was
Yeah.
all the other stuff.
Well, and also, I mean, Disney Springs is cool, but I feel like there was more to do, and it was Downtown Disney. Because you had Pleasure Island, you had Disney Quest, you had all these other things.
Which, by the way, for reference, and we fully understand it, Pleasure Island cost money. It was a cover charge to get onto Pleasure Island.
At night only, though, right?
No, even during the day. At first,
I feel like I feel like I remember walking through there during the day.
Yeah, at some point, like it opened up a lot more, and then they stopped charging for it altogether. And that's when it lost all of the other stuff that made it worthwhile to go.
I was sad when they closed it, even though I was like a kid, because I had, growing up, you hear about Pleasure Island and how cool it was. And I was like, oh yeah, when I'm like 18, 19, 20, 21, I'm going to go here and I'm going to party at Pleasure. I wasn't going to ever party at Pleasure Island. Let's be real.
You're not that type.
Nope.
But I guess the point that I'm trying to get at here is that because we had that shared experience and you and I were able to bond over something that we otherwise may not have been able to bond over.
Yeah.
Because if you had gone and your dad was just as pissed as I've seen so many of these other dads and so many people online, you know, just over like the experience of it.
Yeah.
The reason why we all keep coming back is because we used to have so much fun.
Yeah.
It used to be so good. And the reason why I don't want to right now is because it's not been.
Right.
There is such a thing as Disney burnout. There is. But this goes a little bit beyond that. And I think it's not like a moral stance, right? Not moralizing. In fact, if you guys buy the Premier Pass, this is not a judgment. It really genuinely isn't. It's how I view tax loopholes. And Steve laughed at this when I brought this up on the Notcast. But it's a true statement that I don't blame somebody for exploiting a tax loophole.
Yeah.
I blame the entity which allows it
Yeah.
in the first place. If I find it objectionable, I don't blame the person who gets to take advantage of it.
Right.
I blame the person who allows it to be taken advantage of.
Right.
And this is why I'm blaming the Disney company, not the customer. Please, by all means, spend your money however you want to and enjoy this thing that
Yes.
I have grown to not like.
Yes.
I don't want to take it away from you. But what I am fighting for by getting all pissy about all this shit is for everybody to have the same good experience that we all had.
Yeah.
And whenever somebody, I want to address this too, because I saw a bunch of this on Facebook and stuff like that. And usually I don't chime in. I usually lurk in the corner on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you don't really post
but
anything at all.
I haven't posted something on Facebook in literally years. And I've commented on a couple things here and there, but never posted.
Right.
You want my life update? Amanda puts enough pictures.
I do.
You can figure it out. But I saw a lot of people say, "Why can't I just enjoy this?"
Yeah.
No one's saying you can't enjoy this. No one is. What everybody else is saying is, whether they're saying this exactly or not,
Mm-hmm.
what they are saying is, I might have just been priced out of Disney.
Yeah.
That's where it's all headed, guys.
It's exactly where it's all headed.
And while we have chosen to pursue our enjoyment of the parks by living here, and that has certainly saved us plenty, because we're not traveling here and we're not staying here and everything like that.
Right.
It's becoming untenable for us. We're the
It is.
tourists.
It really is. Like,
I mean, I don't have a problem with there being different classes and people having different income levels in any way, shape, or form.
yeah.
People have success as they do.
Yeah.
This
They
is
do.
not a time for judgment. This is a time to say, understand why people might be upset.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it benefits everybody else if they got their way anyway. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not just be supportive of somebody who says that they're upset? Why not just let them vent? Because
Right.
they just got told exactly what you're going to get told here pretty soon. You're too poor to go.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't want you to be.
No.
Not because, by the way, we're affecting the economy and all that stuff. No, we're talking about them telling you, no, leave us alone. Don't come here. We're going to make it so miserable, or you're going to have to pay so much to have a shred of a good experience.
Yep.
That you will either pay out the ass or you will not come.
Right.
You'll try it once. You'll do it because it's a rite of passage. And that's how they'll treat the All-Stars.
Yep.
But it's going to be, that's kind of how they always treated the All-Stars, but they didn't tell you that. And now they are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to listen. All right? I'll find the things that I find value in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll find the things that I enjoy. And we'll see if I'm still this cynical by the end of it. But if we're going to keep doing this show, I got to find some sort of enjoyment out of it. And for the time being, anyway, I think that means a little bit of a break from the theming and the rides and the characters and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Thank you guys for putting up with this. This was cathartic, and we needed to do it.
We did.
Hey, Amanda, we're on social media, right?
We are kind of on social media.
Okay, could you elaborate?
We have accounts. I don't post often.
I tweet, so you know.
Yeah, if you want the tweets or but yes, we do have a social media presence.
Okay, well, where can we be found on social media? God forbid if you do something.
You can find us on Facebook and that site formerly known as Twitter at Cynical Disney. You can find us everywhere else, so Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, Threads. I think I got everything. I feel like I'm leaving something out, but I don't know.
Pinterest.
I did say Pinterest.
Okay.
I think I covered everything. Anyway, you can find us everywhere else at Cynics on Disney.
And of course, this show is brought to you by NotClub33.com. Make sure that you check out NotClub33.com for all the latest and greatest updates, including but not limited to the Notcast, released, of course, every single Friday at 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time. That is East Coast time for all you California folk. I don't know why I said it that way. Feels like I should have gone Grapes of Wrath there and said California. All right, but anyway.
God.
Please make sure that you are commenting and liking and subscribing. Am I just batshit crazy? Tell me. Let me know in the comment section.
It's completely okay for you to let them know.
Yeah, please do. I'd rather you tell me at least then.
Also, it would be nice if someone other than me was telling him this.
That seems a little harsh, but okay.
I love you. I do.
So make sure that you like, subscribe here on YouTube, and we are getting the audio back up here fairly soon. So make sure that you go back to us on audio for Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you would get your podcasts. We will let you know when that is back up and running, guys. Thank you so much for listening. One more thing. When you do all that liking and the commenting, it's super helpful. Gets us into the algorithm more and exposes us to more users. And though I have exposed myself plenty in this episode, I clearly don't want to expose myself too much while I'm on video. So please give us a like and a subscribe, guys. It would really, really help. We appreciate it. Until next time. And there will be a next time. And there will be we already have a review that we're ready to do.
Yep.
So don't worry. We'll see y'all again next week. But until next time, have yourselves a magical fucking day.